Hi, sixth graders. This live class video recording is intended for you to review for the upcoming Quiz 3 in Unit 1. So let's get started. Some vocabulary first that you'll need to know for the quiz. An editorial is an article that expresses the opinions of the editors or publishers of a publication. So, a publication is a newspaper or magazine or journal or a blog, same thing. Editorials can be in any of those. The word position in this unit is a particular point of view or attitude on a question or issue. An opinion piece is an article that reflects the author's opinion. An agenda is the underlying intentions or motives of a person or group. Bias means a prejudice or opinion that prevents impartial consideration of something. So, if you have, say, a bias towards cats, that means you really love cats, and so it's hard for you to see anything bad about them. And a biased opinion is a prejudice about a certain subject. So very similar to bias. So let's go on to facts about editorials. Editorials are given their own page in a newspaper or journal or blog or whatever to keep the editorial separate from the objectively reported news. So in a newspaper, you have a lot of news that's happening, and that just tells the facts of what happened. Editorials are, remember, they're the opinions of the newspaper or the publisher. So they're given a whole separate page so that you know that they aren't facts, they're opinions. The three elements or parts of an editorial are the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, just like any essay. And a clearly stated opinion and a suggested course of action help define what an editorial's purpose is. So, in other words, a good editorial would have the author's opinion clearly stated, and then the suggested course of action is what someone or a group should do about this. Let's go on to persuasive language. On the right, you see it says the ultimate list of words and phrases that convert. That's persuasive language in the blue and lavender writing. The words new, sensational, or sensational, remarkable, secret, tell us, inspires, take, you, introducing, improvement, amazing, free, because, help, promote, increase, create, discover, suddenly, now, announcing, and instantly. And obviously, that's not an exhaustive list, that's not a complete list of persuasive language, but those are words that are keywords to tell you when a phrase or story is trying to use persuasive language. So you're going to have to answer the question, which of these contains persuasive language? In other words, not facts. Is it, there's been an increase in petty thefts in our city? Police recruitment is down. It is up to you and me to advocate for public safety in our city. And the crime rate is at an all-time high. Which of those things doesn't just state facts like a news article? Yeah, it's the third one. It's up to you and me to advocate for public safety in our city. That is probably the opinion of someone. Okay, it has the word you in it, so that does use persuasive language. And let's go on up to opinion piece facts. On the left is just a photo of an opinion page in a newspaper. So notice it clearly states opinion at the top of it, and it has the title. And a lot of opinion pieces and editorials have the picture of the person that is writing the editorial or opinion piece. Okay, so this isn't something that you need to read. It's just to show you what an opinion page in a newspaper looks like. And an opinion piece should include personal experience when it is possible. Okay, so since an opinion piece is what someone thinks, they should include their personal experience. And opinion pieces are different from editorials because opinion pieces represent an author's opinion. Editorials represent the opinions of a publication's editors or publishers. Okay, so that's different. And some paragraphs you're going to need to write on this quiz. One question is the opinion stated objective or biased? And explain your answer. So here's an example statement that that's going to be on your test. It's similar to the one that's going to be on your test. Cats do not make good pets. I am allergic to cats. So you would have to say, answer the question, is that opinion stated objective or is it biased? And you would have to say this opinion is biased. His opinion is based only on his personal experience, so it's biased. Okay? Like, obviously, not everyone is allergic to cats, and there are people who think cats make good pets. And another paragraph that you're going to write answers this question. If the author of an editorial has an agenda, should you automatically ignore that editorial, and why or why not? So in this example, they're saying no. Even if the writer has an agenda that she's trying to support, it does not mean that her arguments and facts are invalid. So that doesn't mean that her arguments and facts are untrue. They could be true. But it's still her opinion and her agenda. It means that the reader should be aware of the agenda, so be aware that she's biased, and try to objectively evaluate the facts and arguments presented. So try to really think of both sides. And there may still be good information there despite the agenda. Okay, let's go on to charts and graphs. Here is a pie chart, and you studied different charts and graphs. This is just a review. So in a pie chart, it looks a lot like a pie, a circle, and divided into pieces. And this one is the European Union in 2007 by percentage. So it tells you which percentages of countries are in the European Union. Okay, and it gives you the key to Germany, France, United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, Poland, and all other countries. Okay, so that's a pie chart for you to recognize. Next chart for you to recognize is a bar graph. So in a bar graph, there are bars, those colored bars to show you the information you need. In other words, in this bar graph, they're recording people's favorite type of movie. And if I go down a little bit, there you can see everything. So they asked so many people what their favorite type of movie was, and 4 people said comedy, 5 people said action, 6 people said romance, 1 person said drama, and 4 people said sci-fi. So this is another easy to read type of graph represented in bars. Line graph is next. Okay, in this line graph, you can see they are comparing the title of the graph is Small Town Teens with Cell Phones. So they're comparing the number of teens to their age in years. So you can see that 13-year-olds have the fewest number of cell phones, or that is 13-year-old teenagers have the fewest number of cell phones. And then it goes up to 590 17-year-olds have cell phones. Then it dips down a little bit at age 18 to 530, and then it goes up to 642 at 19. So you can see that in general, you could say that the number of cell phones goes up as a teenager gets older in small towns. And the last type of chart that you need to know about is a pictograph. Pictograph is represented by pictures, and it gives you a key as to what each picture means. Okay, in this case, varieties of apples in a food store. Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Red Rome, Macintosh, and Jonathan. So a whole apple equals 10 apples, and a half an apple equals 5 apples. So, in other words, how many Red Delicious apples are there in a given food store? You would count by 10, so there's 30. How many Jonathan apples in a food store? 35. So another easy way to represent information. So now we're going to talk a little bit about comparison. These are going to be 2 questions on your quiz. Which information would work best in a bar graph here? Would it be the number of books read over a summer? Remember a bar graph? I'm going to flash back really quickly. That's a bar graph. Okay. So would it be the number of books read over a summer, the percentage of students that play different sports, the results of a student survey about favorite foods, the temperature variation over a month? So I'm hoping that you are saying that the results of a student survey about favorite foods, that would work best in a bar graph, just like we saw with favorite movies. Okay, different information works best in different types of graphs. And which information would work best in a pictograph? Remember, that's a pictograph. So would it be the number of books read over a summer, the percentage of students who play different sports, the results of a student survey about favorite foods? We know that's best in a bar graph. Or would it be the temperature variation over a month? Well, I hope you're saying the last one, the temperature variation over a month. That would work best in a line graph. So, what kind of graph do you think would work best with the number of books read over a summer? Yep, that would be a pictograph. And the percentages of students who play different sports would be represented by a pie chart. Let's move on to infographic facts. There is one simple infographic at the left. Some infographics combine elements of more than one graph. Some infographics that you see have so much information on them. Infographics have been in existence for thousands of years. That's a long time. And infographics can be very simple or they can be very complicated. The one at the left is very simple. 6 health tips for a better life. So it says to hydrate, eliminate grains and processed foods, work out, sleep 8 hours nightly, and it must have cut off the bottom. But anyway, it gives you the tips in bold and then a few facts about each tip underneath of it. But it gives pictures, so it makes it interesting to look at. And here's another infographic on the right here, and this is a more complicated infographic, although not the most complicated I've ever seen, but notice it has elements of a lot of different charts in it. Well, a couple of different charts. It gives you a bar graph of where do small businesses source their designers. You see that? In-house, I do it myself, freelance, crowdsource, or agency. And then the colors of success is represented by a pie chart. So colors that are associated with business success, the color that's most associated with business success is the color light blue. And the color least associated with business success is purple. And then it goes on to kind of summarize a little bit of information for you at the bottom. The best logo designs are ones by Apple, Nike, Coca-Cola, Google, and FedEx, according to people's opinions. And the worst logo designs, according to people's opinions, are Walmart, Microsoft, Pepsi, IBM, and Google. Interesting, but now take this information with a grain of salt because I have not verified any of this information. This is just an example of a different kind of infographic. So, infographics are a fast and easy way to express information. So instead of putting all of this stuff in a boring old typewritten report, it's easy, it's colorful, it's fun to look at. Readers may gain a better understanding of the information without having to think about it so much. And also, infographics can be fun, they may catch the reader's eye, and may hold the reader's interest better. So remember those facts about an infographic. Okay, if you have any questions, please contact me before you take your quiz. If you are listening to and watching this recording, you must call me to get credit. There's both of my phone numbers. Try both numbers, please. Sometimes I am at one and sometimes I am at another. Because as I told you before, my cell phone doesn't come in at my home and I don't have my home phone where I work from, so I could be at either one. If you need to get a hold of me right away, you need to make sure if you have to leave a message at both, so I'm sure to get it. And good luck with this quiz, and I will see you later. Goodbye.